Another extract from Peg's Boys by Johnny Tudor. Chapter 6. Heads turned as she entered the Collier's Arms. Peg's glitzy outfit looked totally out of place amongst the regular customers, who, apart from a smattering of regulars, consisted mainly of coal miners dodging a shift. There was a natural segregation in the pub. The old men frequented the long bar, and the more colourful characters congregated in the small bar off the black and white tiled hallway. The few women brave enough to be seen drinking without their husbands could be heard raucously singing popular songs of the day in the smoke room. The accompaniment was an out-of-tune piano being thumped by Harry Humphreys, or Libber Humphrey, as all the wags called him, on account of his idol being Liberace. There was a camaraderie and banter amongst the regulars that only people who toil hard for their living have. Everyone had nicknames. Blodwen, the cleaner, was affectionately known as Blods Thicker Than Water. The local cinema owner as the abominable showman. Mr. Huntley, husband of Mrs. Huntley, her of the 20 kids, was known as Waterman Huntley. And the dentist was Harry the Extractor. Then there was Dan the Yank, my favourite. The nearest Dan had ever been to the Wild West was watching Wagon Train on TV. Dan was a rag and bone man who made his living totting for anything saleable on the near tip and flogging it to the local scrapyard. He'd got his nickname when his older sister ran off with a GI during the war and sent him a postcard from Texas. He'd spoken with an American accent ever since. He cut an incongruous figure in his turned-down Wellington boots, bootlace tie and Stetson hat. His sun-tanned, handsome, if somewhat lined face was enhanced by a black pencil-lined moustache, in honour of his hero Errol Flynn, which added to his confident swagger that most good-looking men have. Dan eyed Peg up. "Shake hands with the millionaire," he drawled, proffering Peg a gruppy hand, crammed with cheap rings. Dan was as far removed from a millionaire as was possible. He lived in a trailer on a bit of waste ground called Bates Field, with his crossbred fox terrier Bing and his common-law wife Liz, who, it was rumoured, did a bit of hooking on the side. Unfazed, Peg grasped Dan's dirty digits, responded with, "Howdy, partner," winked at him, then seductively slid onto a bar stool. "Scotch, please, barman," she said. Bert looked on as Victor filled a glass at the Optic and pushed it towards her. Victor eyeballed her glitzy get-up and quipped, "Didn't I see you with Bert Lancaster and From Here to Eternity?" Ignoring his obvious pick-up line, Peg shot out a manicured hand that sported blood-red nail varnish, grabbed the glass and sank it in one. "Hit me with another, Victor," she said, sliding the glass back. This one she drank more slowly, like a connoisseur, lingering on the taste. "Very nice," she mused, "even if it isn't my usual single malt." "You must be the new landlord," she said, flashing Bert a flirtatious smile. "I must say you're an improvement from the last incumbent." She offered her hand. A look passed between them. Victor noticed the look. He also noticed that they held hands a little longer than was necessary. "Where's the dance, love?" Bert asked. "Oh, there's no dance," was her flippant reply. "I just dressed up for the children." Peg often got dressed up in the most outrageous outfits for no apparent reason, except to please us kids. To Peg, that was reason enough. "Jono wants to stay with my boys for a bit," she said, flashing Bert another disarming smile. "It'll be okay, won't it?" He didn't answer. "Can I stay with the boys, Dad?" Jono pleaded. "Please, Dad, can I?" Before he could reply, Merv, his wife, appeared behind the bar with a tray of her homemade pasties. She fixed Peg with a steely look. Merv, with her hazel eyes blazing and her long black hair tumbling around her shoulders, reminiscent of Ava Gardner, Yvonne De Carlo and the like, was every bit a match for the exotic Peg. Jono's skinny 5'7" bespectacled old man, trapped between these two glamorous women, looked like a startled prawn. "And who is this?" Merv snapped. The crowded bar stopped mid-sip. Bert pushed his glasses up his nose with his middle finger, as he always did when he was nervous, and Merv knew it. "Oh, this is Peg," she said, cutting in. "My name is Peg. My boys are friends of Jono's." There was an awkward moment when nobody spoke. Merv was staring unblinkingly at Peg. Bert was looking sheepish. He'd been caught flirting again, and he knew he was in for it. The whole room had gone quiet by now, reminiscent of a cowboy film when the stranger rides into town. Peg took the hint, sank her drink, and slid off her stool. The eyes of all the men followed her. She slowly sashayed in sections towards the door. She turned, gave Merv a withering look, winked at Bert, then made what can only be described as a theatrical exit.